we'll start with a simple exercise, which is to select the chemical components and select the thermodynamic model in the process. All right. So let's assume that we have someone named Dave. So Dave is going to be our main character today. He works at some refinery. You can imagine that he works in Petronas or Shell or whatever, right? And due to refinery expansion, so maybe like after COVID, air travel starts picking up, people start driving more, there are more goods and services being bought. So there's more demand for like petrol, diesel, jet fuel, and so on. So this company decides that he wants to expand their refinery to produce more of these products, produce more petrol, produce more diesel, produce more jet fuel, because people are starting to travel more. So Dave is in charge of installing this new utility water line. So Dave is in charge of installing a new line because maybe this operation needs, this refinery has some operations that need water, and the current water supply is not enough. So he needs to install a new utility water line. But Dave needs some physical properties of this water stream, which he doesn't know how to get. So let's see if HYSYS can help us, right, to do this. To fully define the stream, we need one out of two component flow rate combinations. So I want to define one stream in the simulator. I need to know the flow rate of the component, and I need to know 2 out of 3 physical properties, which is either temperature, pressure, or vapor pressure. But usually we just go for temperature and pressure. All right. So let's try to do that in HYSYS. I'm going to just stop sharing my camera a while, just to save some bandwidth. And I'm going to switch over to my HYSYS screen. So when you first open HYSYS, you see this. You see this. So I just create a new case. So there are actually some templates that you can do. For example, a reformer in the refinery, hydrocracking unit in the refinery, residue hydroprocessing unit, fluid catalytic converter. So these are very, very specialized for refinery applications. Sulfur recovery unit also in the refinery. But I'm just going to create a new case by clicking on this. And just wait a while until it shows up. So this is how HYSYS will look like at the start. Completely empty, nothing at all. And you should jump to your component list. So the first thing I want you guys to realize is that HYSYS is very helpful in telling you what errors are there. So on this bottom corner of this, HYSYS is very helpful in telling you what are the errors that it has. But it doesn't tell you how to solve the error. That's the problem. All right. So there's a messages pane here. And this messages pane tells us that we need to require information, fluid package, require information component. You look at my slide, that is exactly what I tell you to do. Just select chemical component, select thermodynamic model. So that's exactly the basics that you have to do to make sure that your HYSYS works. So we are going to add, first we go for the components. So on the left-hand side sidebar, there is a component list. I'll click on this, click on that, and then search for the component name. So in this case, there's water, or you can just type H2O, which is a code for water, and then you just click on that. And that's it. The status changes to OK. So OK, that's done. You can add any more components if you like, but there's really no point because we are just trying to get the properties of water in this demonstration. So if I new component, say I want to add methane, CH4. No, it doesn't detect this. Let me just type the name methane. And then I can just add or click on and double click on this. That's it. If you want to remove, just click on here. Okay, so that's water. Done. So the error message for the component disappears, and now we see fluid package is the next error. Select property package. And on the left side, you see there is a fluid package button, and there's a red color symbol, and then it says under specified, which means that we need to provide more information for the fluid package. So I click on fluid package here. I click on add, and it asks me to select a property package. So there are a lot of different property packages in HYSYS. We have acid gas specialized. We have some specialized for steam, for example. But the most common two property packages in a refining application would be the plain Robinson or the Suave Reddish Quang, which is SRK. So I'm just going to pick plain Robinson here. And then when I click on that, the status here says OK, which means that we have already given the correct information that required. And the error message disappears. So, okay, that means that we have already specified everything that's required in the first part. Now we can actually enter the HYSYS simulator itself. So let's enter the HYSYS simulation. What we do is from the left side, you click on simulation. And then it calls out the main flow sheet, which is currently empty because I haven't added anything. And you will see this is a basically where we play around, we add items and stuff. So there's a model palette here. This model palette is where I add the items into the flow sheet. So now I won't add any like equipment or unit operations or whatnot. I'll just add in a stream. So I'll just, from these streams, right, there are two colors, red and blue and red. Or in case you can't, you're colorblind, the left one is the material and the right one is the energy stream. So I'm going to add in one material stream. Click on once, drop on the flow sheet. So the stream is named 1, and it's a light blue in color. So I'm going to drop a second stream. That's stream number 2. And I'm going to double click on the first stream to specify the stream itself. So you can see that like a window pops up. And here on yellow, in yellow it shows a warning, which means a warning. Unknown composition, which means that HYSYS doesn't know what this stream consists of. So I'm going to just put in the stream properties. Let's say I want water at room conditions, 25 degrees Celsius. So I click on this temperature and type 25 and press enter. And when this happens, right, you see this is still unknown compositions. The reason being that vapor fraction, temperature, pressure, I need to choose 2 out of 3. I need to fill in at least 2 out of 3. So let me just fill in pressure as a second item. I want the pressure to be atmospheric pressure. So the current unit here is kilopascal. I can fill in by just typing the atmospheric pressure, which is 101, 101325, 101.325 Pascal, kilopascal. Or I can just type in 1. And in this unit, I change it to ATM. It will automatically do the unit conversions for me. So that's it. I have specified the physical property part of the stream. Now I need to specify the composition part of this stream. So on this worksheet here, move to composition, and you see the mole fraction here is empty. Click on edit. So you can choose a composition basis. We either can give the total flow plus the mole fractions or mass fractions, or we can directly give the flow of each component. So in this case, I'm just going to click on mass flow. The unit is kilogram per hour. I'm going to put in 100. Then I press OK. So now this stream is completely specified, and the status button changes to OK. So that means that this stream is completed. If I close this stream material, I find that stream 1 has changed color into dark blue, and stream 2 will still remain as light blue or cyan. So the light blue coloring means that the stream is completely specified, and then I don't need to do anything else with it. I can proceed with other things in the simulation. So HYSYS uses color a lot to tell you things. All right. So in this case, I was trying to check the physical properties of this stream. So what I do is I double click again on 1. In worksheet, I click on properties. And here I can see all the properties that are calculated by HYSYS. For example, density, volume flow rate, enthalpy, heat capacity. Let's see what we have here. Heat capacity ratio, We have kinematic viscosity, we have dynamic viscosity, and so on. So that is what the simulator does for us by solving the thermodynamic model that we specified. All right. So in this case, actually, we are trying to get the density. So density is like 1007. And HYSYS operates on a real-time kind of mode. That means, or I can call it what you see is what you get, which means that I can go back, change this temperature to, let's say, 50 degrees, press enter. The property will update immediately. So you can see the density changes because water expands when it gets hotter. I can change the pressure to 1013 kilopascal, which is about 10 atm. The properties change immediately. The density drops some more, just a little bit. So because HYSYS is a real-time process simulator, there's no need to compile, no need to run. It will run automatically once changes are done. But sometimes you don't want it to do that because it might take some time for it to run. So what do I do is I go to here solver on the menu bar. I click on hold solver, or I switch it to on hold mode. Then when I change anything, HYSYS will not react yet. HYSYS will not react yet. But if I click back on active, HYSYS will then solve the stream. So this is a very useful hack in case you have a lot of things that you want to change, and you don't want HYSYS to keep changing, updating every time you change anything, because it will take a very long time sometimes if your stream is very, very complicated. So we just put on hold, change everything. Once it's completed, only activate the solver. So that's what happens here. Okay, so we have gotten the physical property that we want from HYSYS.